60,000 Culinary Union members have a new center for health care. The union opened the Culinary Health Center on Durango today. It marks the second location in southern Nevada. They are waiting on a third permit to open another center on Craig Road.
Culinary Union is preparing for a strike against a company that does business inside the Las Vegas Convention Center.
The union has been in talks with Sodexo management over the past 4 months to come to a contract agreement. Culinary Union and Sodexo reached a negotiation late last night, just 6 hours before workers vowed to walk off their jobs and strike.
Big cheers and a standing ovation from Culinary Union members. The Culinary Union says it has a new 3-year contract with the Palms Casino Resort, covering about 900 employees.
Levy premium food service workers who are employed inside T-Mobile Arena fighting for a union contract. Workers want a fair wage, they want health care, they want pension benefit protection, seniority, opportunities to work at other venues. And they say that they just want to make sure that this job is going to be enough to provide for their families.
Culinary Union has announced that a card check neutrality agreement has been reached between the Venetian and the Palazzo.
These two were the only non-union casinos remaining on the Las Vegas Strip.
Culinary Union says it has a neutrality agreement with the Sphere.
The massive Culinary Union announcing it's reached what's known as a card check neutrality agreement with Fontainebleau.
Las Vegas Grand Prix and Culinary Union reached a deal to let Formula One workers explore unionizing. They've entered into a card check neutrality agreement.
The card check neutrality agreement, which is a standard for hospitality workers in Nevada, will ensure that those employees have the right to choose whether to have the Culinary and Bartenders Union represent them, while management remains neutral and respects their choice.
Picket signs and chants heard in front of the Station Casino's headquarters in Summerlin. The Culinary Union putting up demands for Station Casinos during its recent negotiation talks. That includes pushing for a first-time union contract, enhancing benefits, and ending what they call our unfair labor practices. Culinary Union and Valley Hospital still not on the same page as far as contract negotiations.
I have never had a wage increase working at Valley Hospital, and I've been there 6 years.
Culinary Union members who work at Valley Hospital, they're going to participate in some civil disobedience this afternoon.
Members of the largest union in the state, they are making their voices heard. They're speaking out today about their priorities for the 2023 legislative session.
They listed several goals, including a campaign this year to win neighborhood stability and to protect health care for working families. And they also mentioned establishing a Nevada state lottery to fund youth mental health resources.
The rent increases and added fees have tremendously impacted me financially. I am now budgeting between rent, food on the table, and other necessities.
A resolution to create a Nevada state lottery has been introduced to the legislature.
Assembly Joint Resolution 5 would repeal the prohibition on a state lottery.
I'm here today in support of AJR5. I got a very devastating call from my cousin that her baby had committed suicide. There was no help in rural Nevada for her. If she had access to professional help, maybe she would be here today.
Youth mental health is a crisis in Nevada. Something has to change. And that's why I support the amendment to the Nevada Constitution to establish a state lottery. I think this is currently the best way to address this crisis, save lives, and make Nevada a better place for everyone.
There are 26 ayes, 15 nays. The joint resolution having received a constitutional majority to declare it passed and is ordered transmitted to the Senate.
The yeses are 12, the noes are 8. AJR5 has received a constitutional majority to declare it passed and ordered to the Assembly.
Nevada lawmakers are considering a bill that could repeal some COVID-19 measures adopted during the pandemic to enforce daily room cleaning.
The lack of daily room cleaning makes guest room attendant work more difficult and increase work-related suffering among a demographic that is primarily women of color. A hotel room that is not cleaned daily during the guest stay becomes harder to clean upon checkout. Daily room cleaning is also a safety issue.
Many opposed say this would not only be a safety issue, but it would cost thousands of jobs and millions of dollars in wages.
Workload is too heavy. When I go home, I'm exhausted and sore, and I don't have time to care for my family.
As a working mom, daily room cleaning is important so I can have strength to go home to my family, make dinner, and be with my kids.
By law,
We need to clean the room every day. We want to keep that law. I ask Nevada legislature to oppose SB 441. The legislation won't protect us.
Governor Lombardo signed a bill that ends those COVID-era requirements for hotel room cleanings. The Culinary Union opposed the bill, insisting it was in place to protect its hotel workers.
Daily room cleaning was the most difficult issue out of all these negotiations. It was exacerbated because we had legislation, state legislation, requiring daily room cleaning, but some of our state politicians turned their back on these workers. It's unfortunate.
The Culinary Union is set to vote to authorize a strike.
The Culinary Union is generally considered the most powerful union in Nevada. As of September 15th, 40,000 of those working under an expired contract. Now, the big three represent 22 casino resorts up and down the Strip.
The companies are going to have an opportunity to do the right thing, but we haven't seen that yet. And if the companies aren't going to do the right thing and settle a fair contract, then there may well possibly be a strike.
The Culinary Union is set to go on strike. According to the union, 95% voted in favor of authorizing a citywide strike.
Meanwhile, the Culinary Union is leading a campaign to help 10,000 restaurant workers unionize. The latest workers to join that campaign come from Alexa's Kitchen and Bar at Paris Casino.
Right now, I'm fighting for better wages, better health care. I have a daughter I have to take care of.
Thousands of Culinary Union workers are picketing outside several major resorts today. The union has been negotiating with MGM Resorts, Caesars Entertainment, and Wynn Resorts for a new contract. Members of the Culinary and Bartenders Union were loud and proud in front of several MGM and Caesars properties earlier tonight.
Vice President Kamala Harris making a stop in Las Vegas, and part of her visit today included meeting with Culinary Union workers.
I wanted to come by and just acknowledge the culinary workers. I have known their work for years, and they are true champions for working people. When they are in this fight, all working people really do benefit. So I applaud them.
Vice President Harris told us that she supports us 100%, and if there's a strike, she'll be on our picket line.
Thousands of Culinary Union members lined either side of the boulevard in front of the Bellagio and the Paris Casino, chanting and rallying, trying to pressure the big three casinos to give them their new 5-year contract.
Nevada's most powerful union chose to come off the sidewalks and disrupt traffic in the Las Vegas Strip. Police began arresting protesters around 6 last night. The rally comes as negotiations continue.
After months of talks, the Culinary Union, representing thousands of local workers, has set a strike deadline. The clock is ticking. 35,000 workers may walk off the job Friday, November 10th at 10 a.m. Culinary Union members were out in force today preparing picket signs for the strike. They're ready to walk off the job Friday at 5 a.m. if no agreement is reached.
Early this morning, the Culinary Union announced that they had reached a deal after 20 hours of straight negotiations between Caesars and the union. That means that 10,000 workers who work at Caesars will not be heading to the picket lines. However, the union still needs to come up with deals with Wynn and MGM. But one thing the union has been talking about for many weeks now is that one job should be enough.
The Culinary Union has now reached deals with 2 Strip resort operators ahead of tomorrow morning's strike deadline.
Just before 6 a.m., they announced a deal with MGM.
As for the deal with MGM, it covers more than 25,000 workers at 8 Strip properties. Similar to the Caesars deal, union workers at MGM resorts will get historic wage increases, decreased workloads, as well as safety and technology protections. Here's a cocktail server from Bellagio celebrating this morning.
We are thrilled. The biggest contract this city has ever seen, actually I think in hospitality industry in the nation. We did it right here in Las Vegas.
Culinary Union avoiding a strike. Just hours before the strike deadline, the union announced it's reached a deal with Wynn Resorts.
They struck a deal around 2 o'clock this morning. This is the largest wage increase ever negotiated in Culinary Union history. President Joe Biden weighing in on this historic deal. He says, quote, "Congratulations to the Culinary and Bartenders unions who work together in good faith toward an agreement that gives all workers the quality of life they deserve." Las Vegas has a long union history, and workers have been critical to the city's growth and success.
A historic tentative contract agreement for 40,000 hospitality workers on the Las Vegas Strip reached just hours before the union's strike deadline Friday morning.
When you look at the total amount of money for wages and benefits for workers at Wynn Resorts, MGM Resorts, and Caesars Entertainment will be over $2 billion over the life of this 5-year contract.
Currently, the Culinary Union says its members make, on average, $28 an hour, including benefits. They're aiming for a near $10 average increase, on top of protections regarding safety and technology.
They'll also get back pay for the 7 months that the union has spent negotiating.
The Culinary Union fully signed, sealed, and delivered after ratifying their contract.
We will organize, strike, and vote to protect what our parents and grandparents won. We are the Culinary Union. We'll show them who we are.
One job! One job!